Oh boy, 975. 975 gold and no silver price. This avatar. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow, just wow. 900, this makes him like the most expensive cosmetic thing you can get. Oh my god. 975. If they put a silver price on it, it's probably be like 10,000. So they decided, hey, let's not mock our players and just remove the silver price. So my thoughts about this. First of all, removing silver price. You know how everything is supposed to be purchasable in the game with silver? Not anymore. Kinda. Yeah. My thoughts on the gold price? Whatever. Whatever. Look. Look. It wouldn't be a goodbye if it didn't freeze. Okay, there we go. Oh, SomaZ, how could you? No! The dark. I don't buy it. I just bought it because it was so expensive. Not for the avatar, but just because the price was so ridiculous that I had to buy it. It's like reverse psychology. You put the price so high that people buy it because the price is so high, and not because like the quality is. The quality is high though. Yeah, man. I had a lot of gold from the super beta stuff. I don't know what to spend it on. I still have a ton. So yeah, there we go. This is Jennifer. Sounds like Jennifer. Oh well, let's move on to the patch video. Sure, we're back after buying that avatar, and as you can see, there's a lot of changes. A lot. Oh my god, this patch is awesome. And I love, like, all of them, I think. So, first thing I want to mention is that heroes now have magic armor. So, it says 4.8 here. It's rounded to 1 decimal point, but the actual magic armor can be up to 2 decimal points. So, for example, here it's 4.75 and it's rounded to 4.8. So, heroes now have custom magic armor. The lowest amount is 4.75, which is an Armadon, and other than him, no other hero has that. The lowest is 5. And the highest is by far a Thunderbringer, which is 6.5, and I'm not sure anyone has even 6.25, so Thunderbringer is now like some kind of special anti-mage hero. At least he's not as squishy to magic damage anymore, so this is definitely a buff to him, and a nerf to Armadon. Not sure how much I agree with it. A reminder that the standard amount of magic armor is 5.5. So Moon Queen, for example, here has 5.5 magic armor. She's kind of unchanged, but like in general, I'm not gonna go over all the heroes who received like magic armor buffs or nerfs, but in general, squishier heroes received more magic armor. Like if I take a look at Riftwalker, yes, she has 575, and like more tanky heroes received less, pretty much. Nothing more to say here. So Armadon, yeah, pretty big nerf. But yes, now heroes have magic armor, so that's another thing to consider. This allows for another balancing constant, which basically gives more, how can I put this, more flexibility when balancing, because you can just balance everything now. Pretty much everything about the hero can be changed. There's no like standard thing that you cannot change anymore. So we move on to actual balance changes, and the first changes were made to Blitz. First of all, his movement speed has been increased from 300 to 315. I think some people, quite a few, saw this coming because he's supposed to be the fast hero. Herp derp movement speed, and he had 300 movement speed. That was horrible. And so now it's 315. This is still not the highest. The highest is still Moon Queen 320, but he's pretty close to the highest. So Quicken, also mana cost has been reduced by a little bit, so it costs less mana. So that's cool, I suppose. It's a buff to his third skill. Will it make me take it over the other skills? I'm not sure. I still prefer to max out Q and W because you need to deal that because it's damage, and when you have magic damage skills, you get them as early as possible to get the most out of them, because later they will be useless. So those are my thoughts on that. Defiler, just kind of a small change. First skill, you can now cast it further. So this green circle is how far you can cast it. So before this green circle would end here, so you'd have to click on the ground here, but the actual wave would still go here. You're probably looking and thinking, oh my god, this wave is huge, the range must have been buffed. No, this range is still the same as before, the whole range of the wave like this. All that was changes from where you can cast. So basically it's easier to land now. That's pretty much it. So kind of a buff to Defiler, I suppose. Fallen Beastwood, his third skill now deals 33% of the damage it offers on illusions. So illusions will not mini stun and they still have the chance to deal the damage, so it's not 100%. But if it does proc, they will deal 33% of it. Come on, show it. Really? 0 procs so far? Wait a second. It's not the... I mean second skill. Jesus, I can't believe I... Wow, SomaZ. You're bad. You're really bad. Okay, take 2. So there you can see. When it procs on illusions, stop. They will deal the bonus damage, but 1 mini stun. A small change to Gravekeeper. The visuals on his ultimate were updated, which I don't really care about. The third skill can now be toggled off, so even when you have a corpse, you press E, it becomes this icon like it's disabled. A lot of skills have this mechanic, and you can just attack normally. Then you turn it on, and he fires the corpse. And then you can go and pick it up again. So this change was done to prevent people from failing stacks, because when you attack a stacked camp, I mean a camp to stack it, it leaves a corpse on the ground, which still counts as a unit. So when the units get pushed back, it still doesn't spawn them, because it looks, oh, there's a corpse here, probably a bad idea to spawn creeps. So now that is, you can prevent that and just stack with Gravekeeper, which is a good, really good buff, and makes him better as a support hero because you can stack for your allies instead of just screwing it up. But, you know, you could stack by just walking up close, at least during the day. But yeah, this is definitely a good buff to the hero. Good changes. Midas, his armor has been increased pretty much by 1, like normal, from 118 to 218, I think. So yeah, just pretty much a buff to Midas. Before he had more armor and it was nerfed because everyone's like, oh, Midas super strong. And I was like, after this change, Midas is not going to be that good. But Midas was still picked up sometimes, and he was still a decent hero, not a strong one or anything. But, you know, this change is a step in the right direction, makes Midas a bit stronger, because his biggest problems are until he gets that level 6. Before he gets level 6, if you manage to get a kill, then your opponents were probably pretty bad. So apparently there are some issues with matchmaking, which I'm in a custom game. So, whatever. So next change we have to Mirage, well, to Nova. There's a bunch of changes. First, your first skill now gives more movement speed to your allies that are trapped and slows the enemies that are in the clan more. So basically, movement speed more. This could be perhaps more incentive to level up this skill, but really I still think people level up the second and third skill and just grab this once. So I suppose it's a buff to Nomad. So those are that's the nature of all of the changes which he received. So for example, Mirage Strike, his third skill, I mean his E skill, like the illusion part, now deals 20 bonus damage. So before it was 40, 60, 80, 100, now it's 60, 80, 100 and 120, which is only 20 damage less than the True Strike. So advantages of True Strike: it deals 20 more damage. Also, it deals the damage with your real hero, so that means damage items like, for example, the Slayer do work, because on illusions, straight up damage items do not give them any kind of bonus, so keep that in mind. That's how illusions work in this game. So basically, the True Strike will deal a bit more damage, a bit more reliable damage, and it will also give you the attack speed, while the Mirage Strike will kind of trick the enemy and stuff. So what are my thoughts on this change? Well, I thought that the way that Nomad's second skill worked after the change to his True Strike was pretty good. I mean, people tried to use True Strike as much as possible and were aggressive with it, and before this they were only using Mirage Strike, and they were sometimes using Mirage Strike as well to like dodge the skill or try to trick an enemy. So it was working really good. Perhaps now after this to give us time to realize how good True Strike is, they're like kind of buffing the Mirage Strike up back a bit. And I don't know, I think a lot of people like me will still use True Strike because it kind of deals more damage, kind of. But that might need some math, because remember, when you do the Mirage Strike, it procs the critical strike on the illusion, and you still have the critical strike, so you can kind of attack twice. So kind of iffy there. I don't know if this change will make people start using Mirage Strike only again, or if True Strike will still be used. But um, we'll see. We'll see. So Ophelia received some. Oh yeah. Also forgot the third skill now works on creeps. So that's pretty freaking important. So instead of costing you all the charges, it costs you only half the charges. Also, reminder that before, and this is how it worked before, I didn't just come up with this now, and it wasn't just changed now. Before, if you had less than 20 charges, the skill just didn't work. So if I attack once more, I have 12 charges, and I will no longer be doing the critical hit. So if you remember, when you attack and you're below 20 charges, or yeah, you will gain 25 charges automatically, but that only worked on heroes before, and it still only works on heroes. So just standing still and attacking a creep will not give you procs. You will have to move for it. However, it does not cost you all the charges, only half, which is a bonus of it. So just making this is just a pack of buffs for Nomad, making his first skill better for allies and against enemies, his second skill a bit better for dealing damage when it's dangerous, and his third skill is now much better for farming. So the purpose of this is because, as much as I would say pubs hate Nomad, he's not seen in the competitive scene at all, because he cannot carry that well. He just cannot carry as well as other heroes, and he doesn't really have farming skills, provided his second skill does help him farm a little bit. Now he just has more farming ability and is just now a stronger hero. Perhaps we'll finally see him in the on the competitive scene, because I really want to see pros play this hero. I mean, imagine them using the True Strike and the Mirage Strike and using their ultimate edge counter at like the most perfect moments. I really hope to see them pick up this hero. I mean, even if these changes will push the hero over the top, perhaps he will become overpowered, but the purpose, perhaps, of these changes is to force the competitive players to look at this hero and go, oh, well, this hero is good, maybe I should pick him up, and they realize how strong he is, and even when he's nerfed afterwards, they will still continue picking him up. So that might be a psychological effect, so to speak. So Ophelia, her strength has been reduced by 1, the starting strength, and her agility gain has been decreased from 2.1 to 1.7. So basically nerfs to Ophelia's stat gains. Did she need those? Basically, she's now more squishy, because agility gain does affect the armor you get. I think Ophelia is a really strong hero. First ban, even in pubs. If you can play Ophelia, you will probably win the game for your team. So yeah, I do think Ophelia needed buffs. She is arguably the strongest hero in the game if you can micro the creeps correctly. So next change we have to Polywog Priest. His Q now works not kind of in a cone, but in an AoE. So when you hover over an enemy, you will see who exactly will your first skill hit. So if I use it as Skeleton King, I'll also go here. Before, you just use it on one target and kind of used on everyone in a cone, but now it's in an AoE, and you can say exactly where it's used. So for example, if you're on the edge of the skill cast, like here, you can cast on this guy, but not on this guy. If you hover over him, you'll see that the other guy will be in range, so you'll be able to predict how it will work against fleeing enemies better now. So that's definitely a good change to Polywog. And also his wards have been changed. It's now not as easy to trap people in wards. Basically the collision and like how the pathfinding works is a bit different. It's now harder to trap people in the wards. Next change we have to Ravenor. His first skill now costs less mana on higher levels, still the same on the level 1. And Ravenor he's not, the problem with him is that he's not really a good carry, but he does deal tons like ridiculous damage early game, and he's pretty tanky, so having him in the lane is really good. I know perhaps with the new items, like perhaps with the Dawnbringer he'll become better, but really the problem with this hero is that he relies too much in magic damage, and building chargers on your ultimate is pretty freaking hard. So another change is the third skill now also slows by 10%, so you know this skill, when you activate it, like blasts people with lightning when they attack you, like here. So now it also applies a 10% movement speed slow for 3 seconds. So added slow made this more of a survivability skill So yeah, good change. I really like it. I do think Ravenor needed buffs. Then we have a change to Riftwalker. It's not really a buff. It's kind of a fix, I would say. I'm surprised they didn't put this in bug fixes, but basically her ultimate now disjoints and stuff when you teleport. So basically, if there's a projectile or something going mid-air towards you, when you teleport, it will not just follow over to you. It will just stop. So for example, I'll try to do this. So here you see the projectile ended there. It did not hit Riftwalker. Before, it would actually travel back to Riftwalker and hit her, as ridiculous as that was. And the last change we have to Silhouette, the last hero balance change. Her spinning blades basically deal 15 less damage. So instead of 60, it's now 45 magic damage. So a nerf to Silhouette's farming capabilities. Everyone's complaining about Silhouette. Everyone's saying she's a really strong hero. I kind of agree that she does deal quite some ridiculous damage. And what I don't like about her is that she's picked in competitive so freaking much. And she's not that fun to play against. So good change. I agree with that. She didn't need a nerf. So that kind of covers all the hero changes. Magic armor and all the specific balance changes. Another, I want to note that there a lot of creep camp stuff has been rebalanced. I wonder if I can remove the fog of war here. It was somewhere. There we go. So there we go. Nope, nope. And the last was here. No, you don't see it, but okay. So basically, on the hard camps, which are this one, and on the Hellborn side, it's this one and this one. If there spawns a Minotaur, so instead of having one Gotar with them, like one small Minotaur, there will be two. So there will be two small ones and one big one. So that's the biggest visual change you will see. But there were a lot of small changes. In general, I think all of these small camps, all of them, will give you less experience now, no matter what spawns there. So basically, these camps will give less experience overall. So yeah, they're worse to farm on. In general, medium camps have different changes. Like some of them give more, some of them gives less. For example, Wolf Commander now has more armor. I think he had less armor by one. Doesn't matter. What matters is that little wolves no longer have the Krugel strike. So some other camps like the Wild can give you less experience. Ogres give you more experience. So medium camps are kind of changed around. The hard camps, however, most of them give you more experience now. So this will give you more experience. This will give you more experience than before. This, I think, as well. Not sure though, but in general, harder camps now give more experience. Easier camps give less experience, and medium camps are just changed around. So yeah, and just some balancing and creeps to like bring them closer together. So that covers the camps. I'm not gonna go too much over it. I mean, just know that Minotaur can spawn with two little ones if he spawns on the hard camp. If he spawns on the easy, like medium camp, like here, he will still spawn with just one. So that's something to keep in mind. No, not the spawner. I want extra options. And remove Fog of War. Remove it. Okay, there we go. And finally, some changes to the items. So first of all, the Brutalizer, it has been buffed, but only by a little bit. It now deals 35 bonus physical damage when you actually proc, instead of 25. So basically, it's a 25% chance. So you basically take 1/4 of it, and the damage has been increased by 2.5 on average on this item. So basically, this item is a little bit better. I still hate it because it's way too based on random, and very few heroes can actually pick it up, but I don't know. I suppose this makes this item a little bit better. This definitely needed some kind of buff, but the problem with this item is that it's also annoying to play against. I mean, if it was more reliable, not only would people pick it up more often because they would be able to stun people when they want themselves, but also enemies, when they got stunned, they would think, oh, he predicted that, he totally timed it so that I would get stunned. But as it works now, if you get stunned by someone with a Brutalizer, you're like, ah, he got lucky, freaking bastard. It's a really annoying item, and I really think it should be changed to be what is it called, reliable. So I'm gonna try push it through in the super beta, but so far I didn't have much luck with implementing mine. Oh no, I did implement one change, kind of. I won't tell you what it is though, but yeah. Next we have a change to Nullifier Blade. Basically the recipe now costs 50 less. It was 850, now it's 800, just promoting Nullifier Blade. Nullifier Blade is a really interesting item. People don't pick it up often, but I think it's pretty good. The thing about it is that the its effect when you use it, like the Purge. It purges so many skills and it's so useful in so many situations, and people just don't use it. It's really a shame. So it's probably promoting the use of this item, but even without the reduction in the price, I think it was good. So this also could be a psychological effect so that people pick it up more. But basically this item is now better. Hopefully we'll see it more often because it is a really interesting item. So change to Pickled Brain. Now costs what? Must be a bug. It said in the patch notes that the Pickled Brain now costs 950. It could be fixed on normal servers. This is just a practice game, so on actual servers this would be 950. At least that's what the patch notes said. Pickled Brain now costs 950. What did I think about it? It was 900 before, then buffed to 1000, now nerfed back to 950. Just allowing heroes to get it more easily so that they can spam skills and promoting items that are based on it, I guess. I don't know. I'm all for people having more fun with mana from a game design point of view, so I don't really mind it. And last change was to spell shards. Finally this trash item has been buffed. So basically now the recipe costs only 900 instead of 1000. It does not give you cooldown reduction anymore, but it does increase the intelligence and gives per upgrade by 2, and it also increases the mana regen more. So instead of 10% extra or 5%, or did it even give extra mana regen, it now gives 25% per upgrade. So if you get this item, you might have all the mana regen you need, or like almost all the mana regen you need. You need, you know, on most heroes all you need is like some mana regen item. Like once you get a sustainer on most like carry heroes, you usually have all the mana you need to cast skills. So this is kind of a change to, like, if you get spell shards, you can just forget about mana regen. You don't need to focus on it anymore and just go for other items. But this is definitely a buff to spell shards, even though it doesn't reduce cooldowns anymore. But if you remember what I said, I did the math and it was basically not worth it because you're paying so much gold, essentially 3000, to reduce the target's armor by 6, magic armor that is, when the target can just get Mystic Vestments for 400 and pretty much nullify it. So that's a really huge difference. So if you ask me, I think it still could give more intelligence per level, like instead of 2, 4, so that will be plus 10, 14, 18. I'll try push for it in the super beta. I'll see how well it goes. It definitely needs some more buffs, I think. This will probably bring the item back a little bit, but might not be enough. But I just want this item to pay for itself more. But here's the problem with this item, and why the recipe cost cannot be reduced any further, and why other bonuses don't matter as much. Because let's face it, what are you getting this item for? For the mana regen, or like intelligence, or for the magic armor penetration? You're obviously getting it for the magic armor penetration. And even if you do the math and like count other bonuses and like, oh, to intelligence is like 150 gold and 25% mana regen is 150 gold, so you're paying 500 to reduce the target's armor by 2. But although that is true from a math point of view, in reality you want this item to deal more magic damage, so you still have to pay 900 to reduce the target's magic armor by 2. So this is a huge buff, because now instead of spending 3000 to reduce the target's magic armor by 6, you only need to spend 2400. So definitely a good buff to spell shards. I will probably try picking it up on more heroes now, because before it was absolutely not worth it, trash, and now it's actually a decent item that I might find myself picking up because the bonus damage is pretty good. I mean, if the target has no magic armor, you're essentially increasing the damage dealt with magic spells and stuff by 33%. So Grimoire of Power only gives 15%. So also a thing that came up a little bit ago, just like some people didn't realize this, I want to make sure you know that 15% damage done bonus, although it does say on all damage, it does not work on summoned units. So just know. So for example, if you place your wards with Poliwag Priest, those are the wards dealing damage, not Poliwag himself, so they are not buffed by Grimoire of Power. And likewise, any kind of summoned units do not deal the bonus damage from Grimoire of Power. So that's why I think it's bad, kind of. So yeah, basically I have both the spell shards. Now you have even less reason to go for Grimoire Fire unless you can get both. But if you get Grimoire Fire on a hero that really needs it, you're probably miles ahead. You're probably winning the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it's kind of like Staff of the Master. If you manage to get it, you're probably winning the game anyway. So there we go. Spell shards has been buffed. That kind of covers all the item changes. I agree with all of them. I like all of them. Gonna be interesting with the magic armor. Blitz is gonna be much more interesting to play, even though I thought he was a decent hero. But you know, as much as I don't want to buff him anymore because I think he's already in a good place, I look at the win percent and you see that there's something wrong with the hero and that he needs changes, whether I like it or not. So yeah, I pretty much agree with all of changes. I like all of them. The item changes were nice. The creep changes were nice. It's now more balanced in the jungle, so to speak. A lot of heroes that needed buffs have received them. Just gonna be much more interesting to play because, you know, spell shards came back. This could, for example, promote the use of charged hammer because it deals magic damage, stacking it with spell shards, or perhaps promote codex, which, you know, not many people get. There's options. There is options. Promote perhaps this item, Frostfield Plate. You know, there's changes that doesn't just affect the spell shards, it affect everything else. But really, the price of it cannot really go lower than 800 for the recipe because that's how magic armor works. It's not supposed to be just a static damage. Like, there's not supposed to be an item that gives you just a static magic damage increase easily. I mean, we have carries. We don't need everyone to be a carry because otherwise depth is removed from the game and we get League of Legends kind of. So, not bashing on League of Legends, but I just don't like the mechanic where every hero can carry. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you now know all about all of the changes in all of the item changes. I loved all of them. I'm gonna be enjoying playing HoN much more. And that avatar, man, that avatar. I'm such a troll. I'll see you next time.